Hey there. Thanks for tuning into the Buck and Eric podcast. I'm Buck.
I'm Eric, and today we're talking about the power of partnership.
So, there's a couple things that, if we're going to talk about a business partnership, a couple key points to hit. Number one, why a partnership may be beneficial. And number two, what kind of partner are you looking for?
Definitely. So, one of the big things I think with a partner that you can't get anywhere else is immediate feedback. What that allows you to do, and at least I should say what it allows me to do, is to have somebody who can look over my shoulder and give me honest, objective feedback about what's working, what's not working, and they can do it in real time. So, for example, Bucky and I go to a lot of meetings together. He's seen my pitch, he's watched me work, he's seen me be successful, he's seen me fail, and he's seen everything in between. So if I have a good meeting, he can help me to understand what's working, what's not. And if I have a bad meeting, he can also immediately tell me what didn't work or what was different from those previous meetings that did work.
Especially like right in the beginning when you first get into sales and you're nervous even approaching somebody and trying to make a sales pitch. Having someone there who you can get feedback from immediately is super helpful. And another thing is you can watch how the other person approaches a pitch and you can learn lessons from it. You know, I feel like sometimes when somebody is out making pitches by themselves, they kind of come up with their own script and they just try that script over and over. And, you know, yes, they will come up with new ideas. They will find new ways of phrasing things and new ways of asking questions and even new ways of just structuring a pitch in general. But having another person there with a different approach really does help educate you as quickly as possible.
And it's going to give you more confidence, because it's going to give you that confidence that you know that you're not just going in saying the same thing over and over and over again and you're just hoping it hits, or you don't know what you're doing wrong. You can at least have somebody there to bounce those ideas off, so that when you do go in, you're going to go in with a fresh set of eyes or a fresh feeling, and you're going to be able to say, okay, at least this time's different than last time. At least I have a chance of success, rather than just reverting back to your baseline, which is, I hope it works kind of thing.
So, especially because, I mean, if you want to develop as a salesperson, you actually need to try new things, right? You need to
take risks.
Yeah, you need to risk making a bad pitch or making a bad joke or being a little bit too pushy to really learn where that line is and how to read people effectively. And sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, being a salesman and being in the midst of a pitch sometimes feels like a lot of pressure. Your heart rate goes up. You feel like this is it, like this is really critical, and you kind of focus in on it. And having another person there who can kind of be a little bit detached from the heat of that conversation and watch it from an outsider's perspective, and then give you feedback and say, specifically when you said this, I watched the potential client's reaction, and this is where I think things went right or where things went wrong.
Exactly. And it can't be overstated how important it is to have that immediate feedback, because particularly in our field where we're having potentially hundreds of calls a day or hundreds of interactions a day, if you can make an adjustment on your first one and then your second one, every time you make those little incremental tweaks, or you have that partner there to help you make those incremental tweaks, if you're doing 100 calls a day, by that 100th call, you've got so many reps and so much improvement based on just that one fact alone, that you're going to be able to keep growing and growing and growing. So,
and another thing is when somebody goes out and takes the risks and maybe is a little too pushy, or maybe does make a joke that falls flat, sometimes having another person there
to bail you out,
that the client can disassociate, that the salesman with the broader service can turn to that other person, and that other person can salvage it right then and there.
Definitely. So, Bucky, when you're looking for traits in a good partner, what are the things that you're really looking for? What are the things that stand out to you as somebody that, if you were going out to find someone to work with, what would you be looking for in that person?
So there's a couple things. There's a couple things that are absolutely fundamental. I look for somebody who's motivated and showing initiative? Is this person a hard worker? That's the first thing I look for, and it has nothing to do with me. I'm looking for someone who seems like they're putting in the work, because I want to be surrounded people who are going places and who are excited about where they're going. And secondly, I try to find somebody who has complementary personality traits and skills that can kind of make up for maybe some of the areas where I'm not as strong. One of my strengths, I'm very extroverted. I'm comfortable approaching a stranger and engaging in conversation, and I love small talk. So I can just ramble on. That comes with its own set of weaknesses. I can be kind of sporadic. I can stay in a conversation and get off point and stay off point far too long, right? And having somebody who's more focused and more organized really helps me stay on track. So I look for someone who can balance out the areas, and between the two of us can give me honest feedback about where my personality is working, where my personality is working against me, and to help me make those incremental improvements. And having a partner, like, nobody is going to be as honest with you as your wife and your business partner. And so having that honesty is really, really helpful. And you're able to be honest with them in a way that maybe you can't be honest with someone who's higher up in the company hierarchy than you, or below you in the company hierarchy, just because of the necessary role you have to play as a part of that structure.
Balancing those relationships between managers and subordinates, finding that person on the same level as you, or somebody who's willing to, approach you on the same level, and it's invaluable. So I think the main thing too for me, just to sum it up, is definitely trust. You have to be able to get that honest feedback, and you have to know that person's going to tell you how it really is. You don't want somebody who's going to say you did a great job when you did a really terrible job. So you want to find someone who wants to improve, and you got to find somebody who wants you to improve as well. So,
and that motivation to work harder. Like there's just some days when you just don't feel like it. Maybe you decided that you're gonna take a cold turkey leave off of Red Bull, and you're just feeling down, you're feeling slow and tired, and then having somebody else there who has a no excuse attitude, who's like, no, we're doing this, we're getting to it,
knock that door,
get in the car, knock that door, I'm dragging you along. Yep. I mean, I don't know how many days you've had a bad day and I've been like, okay, let's take a step from the ledge here, Eric. Or vice versa, maybe once.
But the big thing is having somebody there to help you stay accountable, and we're all going to have those bad days, and it would be silly to think that you're not. And so having somebody there to help back you up is essentially hedging your bets and saying, there might be a day where I want to quit, or there might be a day that I'm just not feeling it, but those are the days that if you quit on that day, you're 3 feet from gold. You're right there. And so having that person there who helps you is essentially guaranteeing your success, as long as you have somebody there who's honest, who's going to get after it, and who's going to hold you accountable. So go out, find that person, be that person, interact with those people, find your partner.
Make plans with them. Because honestly, like having someone who is ambitious towards the future really makes the present better. If you have someone that you're in business with and you are making short-term, medium-term, long-term plans with, and you're actually seeing progress in that plan, it's going to make your present everyday work life so much better.
Absolutely. So keep joining us on this journey. Like, subscribe, let us know if you guys have a partner, if it's worked, what hasn't worked, where you guys have had some friction before. Tell us in the comments, and
join this partnership. Hit the bell, get the notifications, join the conversation in the comment section. We really love having this brain trust between each other and this brain trust between you, and we hope your futures are great. So we'll see you next time.